Let me start by saying that I think the people in this room, whether you're a CTO or a CIO, have either one of the coolest or one of the toughest jobs. I think the CTOs in the room, can I see hands for CTOs? Y'all rock. You get to build products out of ether, and you pave the future. CIOs, please raise your hand. I know I heard from a few of you at the last hand. One of the toughest jobs in the world, and I think, here's the clicker, I think made much tougher by what you were talking about just in the last session, the consumer experience. It is now so much better than most of what you get inside a company. And I think that's a problem. And this wasn't in my planned remarks, but I would encourage you to try to make the enterprise experience as cool as the consumer experience and figure out how can I versus, oh my God, I wish it wasn't like this, because the consumer they've already been trained that this is a better model, and they just make us all feel lame if they walk in and they don't want to hear all the regulatory issues we've got. Tough job. So I have a lot of respect for all of you. I also think we really live in exciting times, and I think your role is even more crucial today as we look ahead. But I believe that one of the biggest opportunities to change our lives is to leverage the technology enabled by this third platform to reboot work. I was actually inspired to write a book. I never thought I'd write a book, to be honest with you. I may never write one again because it takes so long. I'll tell you later about a company I launched that is out and has customers faster than the book made it to the shelves. That's a little frustrating. So it should be like kind of the reverse. But anyway, I wrote a book. And I wrote it because I had a lot of experiences at eBay, LiveOps, and now running the Web Investment Network that led me to see that we're at an inflection point with how people feel about their careers. And I think we've got to fix it. At eBay, I saw more than 1 million people work as entrepreneurs on our platform, either full or part-time. At LiveOps, we had some extraordinarily happy people that worked on our platform from their homes. They decided who they wanted to work for and on what terms. What I really loved about it is they had to be good or they didn't get to keep working, because we had technology that routed the work to the best performer. And if you were a poor performer, you just kind of faded away. That would have been a lot of fun to manage some of that in my other careers. And now, in my Web Investment Network, we see hundreds of entrepreneurs who come in all the time fired up to change the world. The passion that they have and the conviction they have is unbelievable. So I have a ton of hope for the world when you look at how fired up they are. I just wish that we had more people in companies as fired up as we have in our entrepreneurs. So I've come to believe that our current model for work isn't working. And let me share with you some stats on this. Company longevity is way down. In the 1930s, the average tenure for a company on the S&P 500 was 75 years. In 2009, it was 15 years. That's a pretty dramatic difference. So the idea of a job for life is pretty hard to do when your company's average is 15 years. Employee tenure is also radically down. The Department of Labor reports that someone exiting college can expect to have 10 to 12 different jobs by the time they're 38. This next stat is the one that troubles me the most, and that is job satisfaction is down significantly over the last 15 years. Over 50% of the people in corporate America don't like their jobs. Now, just think about that for a second. Over half the employees in the country are dissatisfied with their work. I think that's criminal, to be honest with you, especially when this is the place they spend all their time. This is the place where they get their economics for their families and for their future. It ought to be a source of inspiration and satisfaction.